It's Friday, November the 6th, and welcome to the reading of the Mansfield News Journal. My name is Pam, and let's begin our reading with the area deaths. Theodore Boozy Cotton, 76, passed this life on Tuesday morning, November 3rd, in Arbors at Mifflin Care Center after an extended illness. Friends may call Tuesday in the chapel of Williams Funeral Services from 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., where the funeral service will follow at 11 a.m. Stella Peg Mayweaver, 87, of Ontario, passed away early Wednesday, November 4th, at her home. The family will receive friends from 10 to 11 a.m. Saturday, November 7th, at the Ontario home of the Wapner Funeral Directors, 100 South Lexington Spring Mill Road. A funeral service will follow at 11 a.m. And this concludes the reading of the area deaths for today. We will now begin our first article. Richland County election results and vote totals by Monroe Trombley. By the time the polls closed Tuesday, 71.2% of Richland County's 82,764 registered voters had cast ballots, according to final unofficial results from the Richland County Board of Elections. Of the 16,320 absentee ballots requested by Richland County voters, all but 995 were received by Election Day. Those ballots will be counted if postmarked by Monday and received by the board by November the 13th. Overall, things went very well on Tuesday, said Paulette Hankins, director of the Board of Elections. Voters were very patient with the necessary protocols which were mandated, such as sanitizing, line spacing, and wearing a mask, she said. The final results were held up a little while due to the fact that one poll worker did not bring his result thumb drives back to our office for tabulation. But the worker and his rover quickly went back to the polling location to retrieve them so that we could finalize the results. We received positive feedback from our experienced workers who were very pleased with the new workers who took the training and worked for the first time, Hankins added. The 1,506 provisional ballots cast in Richland County will be checked by board staff and reviewed November 16th. Final results will be certified 2 days after that. Richland County's final unofficial election results with all 83 precincts counted. Candidates: President, Vice President: Donald H. Trump and Michael R. Pence, Republican, 40,534. Joseph R. Biden Jr. and Kamala Harris, Democrat, 17,231. Howie Hankins and Angela Walker, 163. Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen, Libertarians, 659. Write-in candidates: 14 Trump won nearly 69% of Richland County votes, up from 2016, when he garnered 65% of the vote. Biden won 29 of Richland County votes, down slightly from Clinton's 30%. U.S. Representative 7th District: Bob Gibbs, Republican, 18,773. Brandon LePay, Libertarian, 793. Quentin Potter, Democrat, 5,320. U.S. Representative 12th District: Troy Balderson, Republican, 20,596. Elena Shearer, Democrat, 10,296. John S. Stewart, Libertarian, 1,115. State Senator, 22nd District: Mark Romachuk, Republican, 41,030 votes. Ryan Hunger, Democrat, 15,634. State Representative, 2nd District: Marilyn John, Republican, 40,247. Sam Grady, Democrat, 16,022. County Commissioner, term beginning January 2nd, 2021. Darrell E. Banks, Republican, 45,577. County Commissioner, term beginning January 3rd, 2021. Tony Vero, Republican, 44,235. County Prosecutor, Gary D. Bishop, Republican, 45,003. County Clerk of Courts, Linda D. Frey, Republican, 45,668. County Sheriff, J. Steve Sheldon, Republican, 46,782. County Recorder, Sarah M. Davis, Republican, 45,985 votes. County Treasurer, Bart Hamilton, Democrat, 34,737. County Engineer Adam Grove, Republican, 45,402. County Coroner Daniel E. Burwell, Republican, 46,761. State Board of Education, 5th District, Christina Collins, 20,547. Lisa Woods, 19,667. Ohio Supreme Court, term beginning January 1, 2021. Sharon L. Kennedy, 20,415. John P. O'Donnell, 20,580. Ohio Supreme Court, term beginning January 2nd, 2021. Jennifer Bruner, 22,596. Judy French, 23,207. Court of Appeals, 5th District. J. Furr, 19,484. William B. Hoffman, 24,167. Richland County Common Pleas Court Judge, Philip Namoff, and there was no tally. Richland County Probate Court Judge, Kelly Lynn Badnell, 29,755. Kristen Solchaka Gartner, 18,777. Richland County Juvenile Court Judge, Rolly Harper, 16,990. Steve McKinley, 34,627. Let's move on to the issues voted on. Ontario question natural gas load aggregation. Yes, 2,091. No, 1,181. Plymouth renewal of a 5-year 6 mil levy for current expenses. For, 149. Against, 179. Plymouth renewal of 5-year 1 mil levy for parks. For, 175. Against, 155. Madison Township renewal of a 5-year 4 mil levy for fire maintenance. For, 3,177. Against, 1,747. Mifflin Township additional 5-year 2.7 mil levy for current expenses. For, 1,737. Against, 1,433. Monroe Township renewal of a 5-year 2.5 mil levy for fire maintenance. For, 1,137. Against, 464. Monroe Township renewal of a 5-year 1 mil levy for emergency medical service and supplies. For, 1,206. Against, 411. Perry Township renewal of a 5-year 2.5 mil levy for fire maintenance. 375 for, 291 against. Plymouth Township, excluding Shelby and Village of Plymouth, renewal of 5-year 2 mil levy for road maintenance and equipment. For, 356 against, 181. Sandusky Township renewal of a 5-year 2.2 mil levy for fire maintenance and emergency services. For, 365 against, 182. Sharon Township, excluding Shelby, renewal of 5-year 2 mil levy for fire maintenance and emergency services. For, 400 against, 159. Springfield Township renewal of 5-year 0.5 mil levy for fire maintenance. For 4,044 against 2,131. Springfield Township renewal of a 5-year 2-mill levy for fire maintenance. For 3,824 against 2,326. Washington Township renewal of a 5-year 2-mill levy for streets, roads, and bridges. For 2,684 against 1,068. Weller Township renewal of 5-year 3-mill levy for fire maintenance. 748 for, 233 against. Worthington Township renewal of a 5-year 2.5 mill levy for fire maintenance and emergency services. For 1,133 against 424. Ashland City Schools renewal of 5-year 1.25 mill levy for permanent improvements. For 3 against 1. Galion City Schools renewal of a 5-year 7.73 mill levy for current expenses. For 85 against 94. Our next article, Galion man 54 dies after being hit by a train, by Zach Tugel. The man hit by a train in Galion on Tuesday has died from his injuries. Lawrence Kendall 54 died sometime Wednesday, Galion Police Chief Brian Satterfield said Thursday. Kendall was originally from Columbus but had recently become a Galion resident, the chief said. The collision took place about 1:10 p.m. Tuesday on the railroad tracks near South Union Street, not far from the Galion Moose Lodge. Railroad officials quickly helped Galion police officers obtain videos from the train's onboard camera, Satterfield said. A CSX train runs along tracks by West Railroad Street Tuesday afternoon in Galion. Video helped police investigation. Kendall was sitting very close to the railroad tracks when the train came through town. The train's horn blew several times to alert the man, but he remained on the railroad tracks. The front of the train struck the pedestrian, Satterfield said. Kendall was immediately taken by ambulance to Avita Health System Galion Hospital, then was soon flown by MedFlight to Ohio Health Grant Medical Center in Columbus. I think it's fair to say that alcohol may have been involved, Satterfield said Tuesday, but it's still under investigation. The chief said Thursday that toxicology reports will not be known until medical records are obtained. Our next article, Parking Lot COVID Testing is Available at Avita by Zach Tugel. In Galion, looking for a quick and easy way to get a COVID test? Hospitals in Ontario, Galion, and Bucyrus might have your answer. Patients there can be tested for COVID-19 as well as influenza and strep throat while in their vehicles in the parking lot with an order from a medical provider, according to Amanda Hatcher, Director of Marketing and Community Relations for Avita Health Systems. You just pull into the parking lot, into one of the designated parking spaces, Hatcher said. Someone will come out to your car and do the testing. Testing will take place near the south entrance of the Galion Hospital from 8 a.m. to noon, near the cardiac rehab entrance of the Bucyrus Hospital from noon to 4 p.m., and near the east entrance of the Ontario Hospital from noon to 4 p.m. Testing will continue until the pandemic has ended. There is no end date at this time, Hatcher said. An appointment must be made to be tested for the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Most doctors' offices will schedule the test for their patients. If they see their physician and the physician orders the COVID test, then the physician will call and set up the appointment, Hatcher said. With their doctor's orders, it will be run through insurance. Anyone who wants to pay for the test out of pocket can call 419-462-3437 to schedule an appointment on their own for $150. Avita's clinical team will conduct the COVID test via nasal swab through the window of the vehicle. Patients will receive results from their medical provider 2 to 7 days after the testing. Those who are asymptomatic but believe they may have COVID are encouraged to speak with their primary care physician to see if a test is recommended. Hatcher said Avita Health System began the parking lot testing in response to the recent increase of confirmed cases and hospitalizations from the virus. We are seeing an increase in COVID positives in both Crawford and Richland counties and in Ohio as a whole, Hatcher said. To answer questions about coronavirus, Avita's COVID-19 information hotline is available from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday at 419-468-0800. 2 of 4 runaways from Abraxas still at large by Lou Whitmire. In Shelby, authorities are still searching for 2 of 4 teenage boys who ran away from Abraxas treatment facility at 2775 Ohio 39 North on Wednesday night. 2 of the 4 boys, who are from Cincinnati, ages 14 and 17, were located by Shelby Police Department and returned to the facility Wednesday night. A 17-year-old Mansfield youth and a 16-year-old boy from Marion remain at large. Richland County Sheriff's Captain Donald Zahner said Thursday morning. All 4 males were wearing gray Abraxas uniforms when they fled the facility at 8:27 p.m., according to the report. The runaway Mansfield teen was described as being 6 foot 2 inches tall and weighing 220 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes, according to the report. The Marion teen, 16, was described as 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighed 158 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes, according to the report. This year to date, the Sheriff's Office has investigated 40 runaways from the facility. There were 17 incident reports with multiple juveniles running away together, according to the Sheriff's Office. An hour and a half after the teens escaped was reported, a 43-year-old man who resides in the 2700 block of Striving Road reported his 2015 white Ford pickup stolen from his property. The truck, which had a snowplow hitch, contained a .22 caliber handgun, a red toolbox, tools, a steel leaf blower, according to the Sheriff's Office report. Zahner said deputies cannot connect the theft of the vehicle to the runaways. Abraxas, Ohio provides residential treatment services to adolescent males and outpatient treatment services to adolescents and adults. The facility has been serving youth and family for 25 years through partnerships with juvenile court systems and child care agencies throughout Ohio. The company has been expanding its service offerings as the needs of adolescents and their families have increased in complexity. Monica Hook, vice president of the GEO Group, Inc., Abraxas's parent company, told the News Journal in May. Many clients referred to the program have co-occurring conditions such as substance use and mental health disorders, family dysfunction, trauma and abuse histories, according to the Abraxas website. The facility has been a seminary before it became the Abraxas Treatment Center. And moving on, Ashland Legion's Veterans Day service will be Wednesday, November 11th. Veterans of all wars and community members are invited to attend the Veterans Day service at 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, November 11th at Harry Higgins Post 88 of the American Legion on Claremont Avenue. The service will be held indoors and then go outdoors for the 21-gun salute. Guest speakers will be Ashland County Sheriff E. Wayne Risner, who is a member of Post 88. Risner served in the U.S. Army from 1968 to 1990. He joined the Ashland County Sheriff's Office as a corrections officer and shift supervisor. He also has been a patrol officer, 911 coordinator, new jail project coordinator, director of communications, and chief deputy. He was elected sheriff in November of 2000. The program will include the national anthem by Jane Rowland and the invocation and benediction from Post 88 chaplain Dave Abruzzi. Post 88 Commander Ronald E. Dahl will serve as Master of Ceremonies. And now, 6 selected to join Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame. In Bucyrus, the annual ceremony honoring inductees to the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame has been postponed at least until spring. But the Hall's Board of Directors has released the names of the 6 men selected this year. Ralph Allen Gearhart, Michael Wayne Jacobs, Dwight Eugene Lenhart, Donald J. Shearer, Ralph Emerson Schreck Sr., and Michael Allen Tainor represent the 14th class inducted into the Hall of Fame, according to a news release from Chuck Chrisman, the group's president. Normally, the inductees would be honored at a special ceremony on November 11th, Veterans Day, but that has been postponed because of COVID-19, he said. For the safety of all participants, the Board of Directors decided to postpone this year's ceremony, Chrisman said. Ralph Allen Gearhart. Gearhart was born February 1st, 1948, in Crestline. Son of Edward Hampton and Ida Louise Painter Gearhart, he has 2 sisters, Peggy L. DeGray, Mary Lou Hibley, and a brother, Kerry Edward Gearhart. Gearhart graduated from Crestline High School in 1966 and enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1967. He left for Vietnam in April 1968 from California. He was assigned to Company 1, 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, 3rd Marine Division. On May 26, 1968, he was killed by a sniper fire while on search and destroy operation. He received the Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Purple Heart, and Bronze Star Medal with Combat 5. According to his citation, Company 1 suddenly came under intense atomic weapons and small arms fire from a large, well-concealed North Vietnamese Army force. During the ensuing firefight, the lead element was pinned down and sustained numerous casualties. Seeing a wounded Marine in an area exposed to enemy fire, Gearhart left his covered position and moved towards his injured comrade, crossing 35 meters of fire-swept terrain. While moving the casualty, Gearhart was mortally wounded. His heroic actions and sincere concern for the welfare of his comrades inspired all who observed him and were instrumental in saving the life of a fellow Marine, the citation says. The Private First Class Gearhart's courage, bold initiative, and selfless devotion to duty were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life in the service of his country. Michael Wayne Jacobs. Jacobs was born November 14, 1945, in Delaware, Ohio, and graduated from Colonel Crawford High School in 1963. He then graduated from Davis Business College, completed several management courses at the University of Hawaii, and 2 years of study at The Ohio State University. Later in life, he completed a 2-year machine repair training program at the Timken Company in Bucyrus. He went through basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey in July 1966, then completed an 18-week training program as a communications monitor in October 1966 at Fort Devens, Massachusetts. He joined the Army Security Agency around this time. In July, he was sent to Vietnam under the 509th Radio Research Unit. He then went to Canto with the 4th Platoon 101st Radio Research Company as an analyst. In July 1968, he was sent to Fort Devens again, where he completed the instructor training program. He taught at Fort Devens for 9 months and then was sent to Communications Analyst School. After completing training, he was sent to the 602nd ASA, or Army Security Agency unit, positioned in Hawaii. He had top security crypto clearance. He was selected to be a part of the Army Operation High Heels in a simulated nuclear attack on the United States and spent 2 weeks inside of a mountain bunker. Jacobs was honorably discharged from the Army in July 1970. He received the National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, and the Good Conduct Medal. He worked for Reese Optical in Mansfield and the Timken Company in Bucyrus for 35 years. He spent 14 years as a member of Bucyrus City Council and was mayor for 1.5 years. Jacobs has been a member of the American Legion more than 50 years, AMVETS 4 years, Disabled American Veterans more than 40 years, and the Moose Lodge for more than 25 years. He has been active in PTA, Booster Club, Touchdown Club at Bucyrus City School, Bucyrus JCs, Bucyrus Little League as coach, and Board of Directors, Red Cross, and Crawford County Parks Board of Directors. Jacobs, who has been married more than 50 years, lives in Bucyrus. Dwight Eugene Lenhart. Lenhart was born in Bucyrus on December 11, 1947, to the late Ernest and Lois Lenhart. In 1967, he graduated from Colonel Crawford High School, where he was involved in swimming and bowling teams. He was drafted into the Army on January 11, 1968. He completed basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and his AIT at Fort Lee, Virginia. He was sent to Vietnam and assigned to E Company 1st Battalion, 7th Cavalry Division, 1968 and 69. He received an early release at Valley Forge General Hospital on October 16, 1969, following an injury while serving in Vietnam. His awards were National Defense Service Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal with 60 device, Purple Heart, Marksman M16 with rifle bar, and Sharpshooter M14 with rifle bar. After his service, he married in 1970 and had 3 children, Sean, Leslie, and Travis. In 1990, Lenhart remarried and gained 2 stepchildren, Rich and Carrie. He is the grandfather of 11 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. Lenhart worked for the Standard Oil Company while in high school and for the General Electric Company for 33 years, where he was a union steward for IUE Local 704 and union president for Local 704. He was involved with starting the baseball league at Sulphur Springs School and coached his children's teams. He's a life member of VFW Post 1078, being a trustee over 20 years, AMVETS Post 27, the DAV Chapter 100, Moose Lodge 669, and Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame, a member of the Bucyrus Veterans Honor Guard, and helps put flags on veterans' graves for the Bucyrus Memorial Society. Lenhart lives in Bucyrus with his wife, Carol. Donald Shearer. Shearer was born January 14, 1948, to Donald E. Shearer and Velma L. Shearer in Bucyrus. He graduated from Bucyrus High School in 1966. He played football until injuries his senior year, basketball, and ran track for Bucyrus, and was a member of the 1963 NOL champion football team. He attended Ohio State University Mansfield in the fall of 1966. While working at GE, he was drafted into the United States Army on January 4, 1968. His basic training was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Airborne AIT at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and Jump School at Fort Benning, Georgia, where he was second-generation airborne. In August 1968, he was sent to Vietnam and assigned to the 23rd American Division. He joined the elite E Company 51st Infantry, which did long-range reconnaissance. He spent 3 weeks training with the elite 5th Special Forces Group Recondo School, and another 3 weeks in field training on medical, special weapons, and map reading. On January 1, 1969, the unit was redesignated G Company 75th Airborne Rangers. On March 24, 1969, while on a recon mission, he was wounded stepping on a landmine. His parents received a telegram that read, "We regret to inform you that your son has been wounded in Vietnam. He is not seriously injured and was wounded in both legs, buttock, back, both arms, and head. We repeat, he is not seriously injured." Shearer was hospitalized 2 weeks in Vietnam, 3 weeks in Japan, and sent stateside to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he spent almost a year and a half. before being honorably discharged July 1970. He was awarded the National Defense Ribbon, Combat Infantry Badge, Parachute Wings, Vietnam Service Medal with 3 Bronze Stars, Meritorious Unit Commendation with Oak Leaf, Army Commendation Medal, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross with Palm, Unit Citation Badge, and Good Conduct Medal. After being discharged, he went back to work at GE and retired in January 2003 with more than 36 years of service. On March 10, 1972, he married Nancy Foreman. He has 2 stepchildren, Jeff Shearer and Tammy Doyle, 5 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. Nancy passed away in 2019. Shearer is a member of the American Legion, the VFW, the DAV Chapter 100 Adjunct Treasurer, where he was 4 years District Commander, State Executive Committeeman, and other offices. He serves with the Crawford County Veterans Hall of Fame and the Bucyrus Memorial Society and was a driving force in the monument being built at the Crawford County Courthouse. Ralph Emerson Schreck Sr. Schreck was born February 7, 1894 in Galion. He was the 13th child of John Andrew and Martha Jane Schumacher Schreck. His siblings included Harv, Calvin, Daisy Klopper, Belinda, Sarah, Sinabel Hirschner, David Elsie, James, Walter Raleigh, Estella, Frederick, Arthur, Dewey, Robert, and Howard. Schreck attended school in Galion and played basketball for the Galion Fintax 1917 team. He married Belle Irene Paste on November 28, 1917. They were married more than 59 years before Ralph passed away on February 23, 1977. Ralph and Belle had 2 children, Alice Franklin Heater of Jonestown, New York, and Ralph Bernice Schreck of Lemert. They have 5 grandchildren. On May 28, 1918, Schreck and 28 other men left Bucyrus to go to Columbus for inspections and assembling with other men from Ohio. After several days, they headed by train to Camp Jackson, South Carolina on July 10, 1918. They boarded the ship to Brest, France, arriving in France on July 21, 1918. They were with a company that used trucks to deliver ammunition to the front lines. They had to load and maintain the trucks and drive them to the front. On May 5, 1919, they boarded the ship back to the United States. They were honorably discharged on May 27, 1919. After discharge, he went back working at the trucking business with his father and brothers, where he worked before the service. In 1937, he became a deputy sheriff of Crawford County. In 1944, he was elected county sheriff. He was elected county commissioner in 1952 and served until 1960. Schreck was active in the Ohio Buckeye State Sheriff's Association, of which he was a life member. He was a charter member of Galion American Legion Post 243 and a member of the Elks Moose Carl C. Kopp Barracks 1077, Veterans of World War I of the United States. He was active with Crawford County American Cancer Society, started Little League in Bucyrus, and supported his grandchildren in their activities. Michael Allen Tainer. Tainer was born in Bucyrus on July 1, 1947, to Juanita and Ernest Tainer. He attended Bucyrus City Schools, left in 1966 to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. He underwent jungle survival training at Camp Pendleton, California, then deployed to Vietnam. He was a machine gunner with 1st Battalion, 7th Marines. Tainer was transferred to Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, assigned to 2 Battalion, 2nd Marine Division. He went on to Mediterranean cruise for 6 months, making beach landings as training in various countries. His schooling in the Marines was MCI, Marine NCO, Ammo Technician CRS, Regimental NCO School. He received the Purple Heart, National Defense Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, Vietnam Service Medal with 2 stars, Good Conduct Medal, and Rifle Sharpshooter Badge. He was honorably discharged on February 20, 1969. Tainer worked for Tainer Brothers before being employed at the Timken Company in Bucyrus. He also was a part-time police officer in New Washington from 1972 to 73. Since retirement, he has worked various part-time jobs. Tainer is a life member of the VFW Post 1078 and has been commander, senior vice, junior ice for a few years and was all-state post commander for 2006-2007 term. He's a life member of AMVETS Post 27 and the DAV Chapter 100, member of American Legion Post 405 New Washington, member NRA. He travels as a guest on a 2016 Columbus Honor Flight All Vietnam Veterans Purple Heart trip. He also is a member of Moose Lodge 699 Bucyrus, supports St. Jude Children's Hospital, and is a member of St. Bernard's Catholic Church in New Washington. He volunteers during church festivals each August. Well, that concludes the reading of the Mansfield News Journal for Friday, November 6th. This is Pam saying stay safe, be blessed, make it a great day.